Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to your graduation session this afternoon. I want to advise what the procedure with regards to the photographs is. Every student, every graduate today, when you come to stage, you have to have one of these yellow cards with you. Please bring that forward. It's going to be collected on your way to the stage. Secondly, one of these white name cards issued by the institution. Bring that to the podium as well. And then lastly, but not least, you do have a hood qualifying in, as Tsepo is demonstrating, on your left-hand forearm, please. You'll be ushered forwards, yellow card out of your hands. Once you arrive here, you hand this ticket to the person on the podium for them to be able to introduce you. The important part here, there's a square made. We want you to stand inside of that square. That's the correct focus in the crop. If you stand off of that square, there's going to be technical issues. So do stand inside this box, and then the first photograph will be taken from that side. Afterwards, please proceed. One of two things will happen. Higher certificates, diplomas, advanced diplomas. You proceed forward. You just receive a nod from the CEO. The PGCEs, bachelor's, masters, and PhDs. Your qualifications could be conferred there. The kneeling box will be picked up. You'll kneel down there with one knee. If you have long hair, please tie it around your left-hand side here and look the CEO in the eye. Then the second photograph will be taken from the stage. Then you proceed to the banding box where the registrar will be awaiting. Again, one of two things is going to happen. You'll be congratulated for your qualification, on your qualification with higher certificates, diplomas, and advanced diplomas. PGCE, master, bachelor, masters, and PhDs. You stand again in that box. That's separated off center of each other. That's for specific technical reasons. Do not stand in front of the registrar. You stand off center of the registrar. You've handed your hood over, and then they'll drape it. Once it passes your chin, at that exact time that third photograph is taken of you, and then leave the stage. You collect a scroll on your left-hand side on that table where he's walking past now. Thank you. And then you need to exit the hall. There's a big arrow made on the floor on the far left-hand side. The first door out, you go outside. A head and shoulders portrait will be taken. You'll receive your qualifications paper, actual, and then you'll return back to your respective seats. Please note this will be this set of photographs is going to be taken of each and every graduate crossing the stage. However, if you want to have that package sent to you by print, digital format, then you need to make an order. You can make an order inside the foyer once the session is officially stopped. Also, please feel free to do an order for your family members or friends, and then you can take them upstairs to the family studios. Just on other administrative things, we been asked to ask you to note there's lots of photographers outside. They weren't invited. No party here that's officially attending this graduation session can guarantee quality or any customer service afterwards. There's official photographers with study that's been signed off and stamped. So do just take note of that. And also kindly ask all graduates and guests do stay seated during the ceremony. We can't have all the guests coming to the stage. They will influence the flow of the graduation, which you are part of. Thank you so much.
Good evening. Welcome to our autumn 2023 graduation ceremony. We please ask that all phones be switched to silent. Please remain seated throughout the duration of the ceremony and do not leave the hall unless it is an emergency. Please can we all rise for the entry of the academic procession. Thank you.
By virtue of the powers vested in me as the Chief Academic Officer, I constitute this gathering a congregation of Stadio. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Because I'm really hoping that it's going to be a good evening. I was a little bit worried that I was the only one feeling that way. I am truly pleased to be able to share this very special day in Stadio's calendar with you. Because this evening, we formally declare to the world that all of you, our graduates, have the skills, the competencies, and the necessary expertise to go out and to practice your discipline. To our most important guests this evening, to our graduates, on behalf of Stadio, on behalf of the entire institution, I want to congratulate you and tell you how very proud of you we are. We all know how hard you worked for your qualification, and you fully deserve the honor that is being bestowed on you this evening. However, you know, and I also know, that you did not walk this journey alone. As I stand here and look out into the audience, I see all the parents, all the other family members, the children, the friends, everyone here who helped you on that journey. I can see the love and the pride shining in their eyes. They know how special you are today. So I will ask you to do something for me. Turn around. See if you can spot that special person. Wave at them. Say thank you. Students' gratitude is so important. It is so important that we all learn to say thank you. Now turn to that person sitting next to you and say, congratulations. That's about networking. Networking is that other important value that you need to learn. To my Stadio colleagues sitting on the stage with me and serving as functionaries this evening, to all of the deputy registrars present, to Dr. Trader Oosthuizen, who will be reading the names, Dr. Kemi Adebayo, who will present the awards this evening, to Professor Pat Bean, who will do the congratulatory address, to Major General Jessica Surajbali from the Hawks in the South African Police Services, who will be delivering the keynote address. Major General, we are honored to have you with us this evening, and I know that the students will value and appreciate your advice. To my other academic colleagues on stage with me, and to all the other Stadio staff assisting, I want to say welcome and thank you for sharing the ceremony with our graduates. Ladies and gentlemen, Stadio is built on the principles of community. And it is a value that we foster and one that we protect quite jealously. We count our graduates amongst our most important role players in the Stadio community. And in acknowledgement for what they mean to us, Stadio launched the Colisa Student Share Scheme in 2021. Now, do you know about that Colisa Share Scheme? No. Well, very briefly, Stadio is a listed company. It's listed on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. And so as a listed company, Stadio has shares and we have shareholders. Under the Colisa Student Share Scheme, Stadio became the first higher education institution in South Africa, and we believe globally, to award shares in the business to our postgraduate students, to our honors and masters and doctoral graduates. And we have been doing so since 2021. By a show of hands, are there any honors or master's students here this evening? Yes, there you are. Well, today, when you cross the stage, you will not only receive your academic certificate, but you will also receive your Stadio share certificate with the shares that have been awarded to you by Stadio. I truly hope that this will mean and be the start of something very special for you and for your family. Ladies and gentlemen, today I welcome you all as members of the Stadio community. And I hope that in this evening of celebration, we will forge a relationship that will be enduring. To the graduates, I want to end as I started. Today is a happy event. So please smile as you walk across the stage. For those of you receiving your degrees, you will see that there is a little stool in front of where I'm seated. Stop and kneel. That stool is not a rest stop on your long journey across the stage, because I have seen the heels that some of you ladies are wearing. The capping activity is a very important part of any graduation ceremony, for it is by virtue of this tradition that you are admitted to your degree, and so you don't want to miss it. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's enjoy this evening together. Clap as loudly as you want. Sing the praises of your favorite son or daughter. Whistle, ululate if you want to. Just appreciate the success that is being feted this evening. However, all I ask is that in your celebration, you remember that there are also other students whose friends and family want to hear their names being read as well. Without further ado, may I warmly welcome all of you once again and trust that you will celebrate this evening with us. Welcome.
Good evening. Thank you. Thank you very much for the warm welcome. This is indeed a special occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with pleasure that I introduce to you our keynote speaker this evening, Major General Jessica Surajbali. Major General Jessica has 31 years of experience in the South African Police Service. She has worked herself up and ascended from a mere police constable to taking a seat at the first executive support head at the level of Major General in the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation. Major General Jessica is a luminary investigator with a span of 3 decades in the South African Police Service, and she started her journey at Pietermaritzburg in KwaZulu-Natal province back in 1991. She holds a National Diploma in Police Management and a Bachelor of Technology in Policing. In addition, she has a number of certificates, including one in Project Management, Strategic Management, Policy Development and Management, Support Program for Improved Organizational Performance, Risk Management, Detective Course, Organized Crime Courses, Investigative Technique, Sexual Offenses, Subcore Vehicle Crime Investigative Course, Protocol, Etiquette, and Interactive Cultural Communication, as well as the Emerging Leadership Program, which were obtained from different universities in the country. And at present, she continues to pursue the remaining modules in her Master's in Business Administration. She has climbed through the ranks while acquiring extensive experience in the investigation, operational, and strategic environments. She served as a secretariat in several ministerial committees, which include the Violent Organized Crime Committee for the then Deputy Minister of Police, Criminal Justice Review Committee, the Justice, Crime Prevention and Security Cluster, and she was also instrumental in drafting the implementation plan for the National Development Plan Vision 2030. She represented the South African Police Service on organized crime at the Interpol office in France. She has also lectured at the Detective Learning Academy and has done so at several subco workshops. The then Minister of Police directed the re-establishment of the Family Violence Unit, Child Protection and Sexual Offenses in the country. Major General was one of the 4 task team members who were responsible to conduct a feasible study, which resulted in the establishment of 176 units and the successful implementation thereof. As the component head within the directorate, she is rendering support to the national head in terms of high quality executive management and services to support and contribute to the achievement of key organizational priorities. Major General manages and executes a range of special projects on behalf of the executive to ensure efficient effectiveness of the project outcome while fostering high levels of collaboration and information transfer amongst the project's participants. She is further responsible to prepare for strategic related meetings and briefings and other documentation as required to support the effective performance of the executive. Please help me welcome on stage Major General Jessica Surajbali.
Evening, the Chief Academic Officer, distinguished faculty, honorable guests, graduates, all protocol observed. As you would know, I'm from the police. We very protocol, highly protocol driven. So if I missed anyone, I apologize for that. I must tell you, this is a great honor to stand in front of you. I want to start by congratulating you on this momentous achievement. Those graduating from law school, completing your training to become an educator, or perhaps a manager. This is no small feat to me, and you should all be proud of yourself. But now, as you prepare to enter the world of law or law enforcement, you will note that when I address you, my passion is law, so I will be focusing a lot on that. But I must show my appreciation to those of you that's also trained to be teachers and future leaders in this country. I want to remind you of the enormous responsibility that you have taken on, whether it's in the law faculty, whether it's in the education faculty. The law, as you all know, is the foundation of our society, and the police service is tasked with upholding it. And if you are in the education faculty, then you also have a due responsibility because you bring out future leaders. You instill morals and values in those little ones. You just meet them when they're out on the streets and they become members of society, whether they will be part of upholding the law. You are all guardians of justice and fairness, and your actions will have a profound impact on the lives of the people that you serve or educate or lead. This is a weighty responsibility, but it is also an incredible privilege. You have been given the power to protect the innocent. That is whether it's children, whether it's just people, if you're in the law faculty, children because if you're in the education faculty, bring criminals to justice and ensure that the laws of our land are upheld. You have the opportunity to make a real difference in the world. When you step out of here, your job starts. And so we ask that you stand up for what is right and to fight for justice, irrespective of what your education trade may become. But to do this, you must always remember the core values that underpin your work: honesty, integrity, and fairness. And this, people, is not limited just to people in the law faculty. It applies to every single one of us, whether you're a child, whether you're a young adult. You must be dedicated to the pursuit of justice, be willing to put in hard work and long hours required to achieve it. I love the National Development Plan. It's a beautiful plan. They said that when they wrote it, they consulted the people, the locals of the country. They did not write it in isolation, just amongst academics. This plan envisages that people living in South Africa feel safe at home, at school, work, and they enjoy a community life free of fear. Women walk freely in the streets and children play safely outside. As I stand here, you and I know that is not really what's happening out here in South Africa. But through education and the role that you will play, you'll be able to bring about this change. And you will also help us to reach this vision outlined in the NDP. This requires, whether it's a police service, whether it's an education institution, professionalism, staffed with highly skilled people. In the NDP, it calls specifically for professionalism in the police service, for highly skilled police officials. And I'm glad that among you here, you are going to join us as those highly skilled people. We want you to value your work, serve the community, safeguard lives and property without discrimination, protect the peaceful against violence, and respect the rights to equality and justice. And that's my belief. It happens at any level, no matter where you are. You will, as you step out of here, this is what will be expected from you. This will not be an easy path. And for this, I would like to share with you the story of the Great Wall of China. You all heard of the Great Wall of China. So as you would know, the Great Wall of China is the largest man-made project in the world. Complete route is over 20,000 kilometers, stretching from the east side to the west desert of northern China. And actually, when you think about it, it moves like a dragon along all the mountains and the plateaus. I've just painted a picture to you. And that Great Wall of China was built so that no enemy may get through it, not over the walls, neither under it. However, the enemy managed to infiltrate and go through this Great Wall of China with absolute ease. How do you think this happens? Whether you are in the law enforcement agency, whether you're in education, we all learn about state capture. At some stage or the other, you read about it. They successfully breached the wall by bribing an official who willingly opened the gate with the enemy. So whether you're in education and you accept a bribe, that somebody complete their studies incorrectly, unlawfully, or whether you allow it because you are a police official and you sell a case document, or you accept a bribe at the border, or you stop an illegal immigrant and instead of returning him home, you decide to take thousands of rands from him. This is what happened. You also stand as the Great Wall of China. Let's see if you'll be compromised in any way. Currently in the country, no secret to any one of us. We know of state capture, we know of ESCOM, we know of VBS, we know of corrupt officials amongst us, corrupt teachers, corrupt leaders. We appeal to you to change this and turn the tide. Recently, I visited the FBI for training in leadership. I must tell you that when they first met me, they asked me, how are you dealing with crime in your country? We see CITs, we see armed robberies, we see corruption. And it was sad because when I entered there, I did not expect that question. I thought, wow, South African, everybody's going to be so warm. So it was a little bit embarrassing and sad. But you try to tell them that, listen, we are also making inroads. We are learning. We are turning the tide on us. But I must tell you also on a light note, eventually when I got fed up with them keep asking me about the crime, I said to them, well, when you land at the OR Tambo, you might be met with cash in transit. And when you hit our roads on the N1, there are some lions who might just eat you up. But nevertheless, I corrected myself very quickly. I must tell you that with that great experience and the opportunity that I was afforded to be trained there of recent, I love South Africa. There you can't compete. We have good food, good looking people. We're warm, we are so diverse, and our country is just so beautiful. But sadly, we are not taking it seriously in our responsibility. But education, people, is very, very powerful, irrespective of which faculty you are. So it'll be good to see that you go out there and change our world. I want to leave you with a keyword that we also echo in the passages of the DPCI. I see some of my colleagues are also graduating. Our leadership likes to speak about integrity beyond reproach. I don't have much to share with you other than these powerful words, irrespective of where you step out there. Integrity is doing the right thing, knowing that nobody is going to know whether you did it or not, Oprah Winfrey. This quote highlights the importance of integrity as a personal value, rather than something that is only demonstrated in public or when others are watching. True integrity means doing what is right and ethical, even when no one else is aware of our actions. There is no external reward or recognition to doing so. It is a measure of our character and a reflection of our values, and is something that we cultivate and strengthen over time through consistent behavior and decision making. In conclusion, finally, remember that the work you do is not just about enforcing the law, educating a child, or leading people. It's about building relationships with the communities you serve, earning their trust and respect, bringing back morals into society. You must be compassionate and empathetic in these fields that you have chosen. You are not sure what to do. Even in the face of those who seem to do harm, we call on you to be compassionate and empathetic. Apply emotional intelligence. I love it. They call it EQ. At all times apply it. It is key to your behavior and the reaction that you will receive from those that you serve or encounter in life. You must always remember that the work you do is not just a job, but a calling. It's a calling to serve your fellow citizens as you step out there into the work environment, to protect them from harm, whether it's a child in school, whether it's out there when you're policing, and to uphold the rule of law at all times. It is a calling that requires courage, dedication, and a willingness to put others before yourself. So as you embark on this new journey, I want you to remember that you have the power with this education that you have now acquired to make a real difference in the world. You have the opportunity to uphold justice and fairness, to protect the innocent and to bring criminals to justice, to bring up an upright society, whether it's even in the classroom. But with this power comes a great responsibility. one that I know you will meet with honor and dedication. Congratulations again, and good luck on the road ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for such a beautiful keynote. Thank you for sharing your experiences and wisdom with us. I will now like to request Dr. Trader Oosthuizen to present the names who appear in the program.
Thank you, Ms. Manyaga. Good evening, colleagues, graduates, family. I would like to apologize in advance if I'm going to mispronounce your name. Please forgive me. If I inadvertently turn it into a swear word, I also apologize profusely. But please forgive me by smiling as brilliantly as you can for the cameras. CIO, I request you to confer the higher certificate in preschool education on the following students. Certificate is an NQF level 5 qualification with 126 credits and 8 modules. Naila Arbi, she passed cum laude with 4 distinctions. Lorraine Brits. Oh, Cupido. Sibongile Daniels. Daniela de Vasconcello. Anne Hodek. Ulisane Mahmoud. Unangiwa Madima. Selindile Madunsela. Unslanslam Mkele, passed cum laude with 6 distinctions. Kimberly Mohamram, passed cum laude with 7 distinctions. Matsatsi Mokone. Panelo Moyane. Malegasi Galane. Denga Ramano, passed cum laude with 7 distinctions. Jenna Ribeiro, passed cum laude with 6 distinctions. Megan van Rooyen. Sharnay Venter. The persons whose names were not read but appear in the program received their qualification in absentia. Thank you. CAO, I request you to confer the diploma in management on the following students. The diploma is an NQF level 6 qualification of 360 credits and 14 modules. Phineas Likhanyane. Cholofelo Letswane. Refilwe Lepulane. Relebogile Lechueño. Lechwara. Makumbi Likete. Elvira Loss, she passed with 9 distinctions. Diana Lottering. Vanessa Low. Kensani Lobane Kosa. Maglatse Mabena. Semole Mabena. Londolosi Mabida. Ochumelo Mabuse. Motsatsi Macheche. Masele Matipane. Felicity Maslam. Timbi Maslango. Dimakatso Maslape. Iri Mapekisi. Lesego Maila. Kelebogile Mainake passed cum laude with 5 distinctions. Shlansha Makaye. Dina Makubela. The persons whose names were not read but appeared in the program received their qualification absentia. Thank you. CAO, I request you to confer the Advanced Diploma in Management on the following students. The Advanced Diploma is an NQF Level 7 qualification with 120 credits and 6 modules. Densien Lawful. CPC Glen Law. Mary Noble. Oshiburi Nebe. Otone Charlie. Ibe Kumalo. Belapi Padi. Happiness Pachla. I can smile for the camera. I know why you didn't want to give me this name for it. Kelebogile Pakisi, pass cum laude with 3 distinctions. There you go. Pelo Pala. Notando Kwabe. Pizzo Ramokensi. Ramokensi. Redeni Ramanenche pass with 3 distinctions. Zanele Blom. Puluseni Sekwati. Nombulelo Sempo Sapelo. Efilwe Selau. Limpo Pue. Catlejo Rapelan. Mamotlodi Rapulana pass with 3 distinctions. Gudani Ramwanspo pass with 3 distinctions. Sani Sadiki. Jennifer Sanyani. Pete Sema. Philemon Sekomoto. The persons whose names were not read but appeared in the program received their qualification in absentia. I thank you. CAO, I request you to confer the postgraduate certificate in education and senior phase and further education and training on the following students. The postgraduate certificate is an NQF level 7 qualification with 128 credits and 8 modules. Kusikona Jelly. Rebecca Gadel Karim passed cum laude with 6 distinctions. Michaela Gardner. Giuseppe Caniele. Judith Mabunda. Tifuriso Mabunda. Madubo passed with 4 distinctions. Precious Makubela. Mboniseni Makwedzana passed cum laude with 5 distinctions. Tolerance Makwakwa. Pampe Makwala. Mahlange. Makungu Maluleke. Temugetsi Mangani. Sebolaisi Masobelele passed cum laude with 6 distinctions. Pumla Mazibuku passed cum laude with 4 distinctions. Chantel Mangwane, passed cum laude with 7 distinctions. Innocentia Manyuku, passed cum laude with 6 distinctions. Lindilile Malangeni. Zinsley Ponto, passed cum laude with 6 distinctions. Kusisizwe Ponza. Kotlo Modungwa. Sylvia Moela. Evesantia Mosesba. Nomsa Mujanani, passed cum laude with 6 distinctions. Clement Mulautsi, passed with 4 distinctions. Elzan Nudir, passed cum laude with 6 distinctions. Renee Nemukula, passed with 5 distinctions. Mpho Neswiswi. Tabelo Netavani, passed with 6 distinctions. Tuso Netile, passed cum laude with 7 distinctions. Kompilela Nechiheni. Tabiseng Chele. Tebogo Poso. Gebetswe Raito. Mapuka Saule. Rotando Sebatane. Obesile Shabangu. Karishma Singh passed cum laude with 7 distinctions. Natalie Smith passed cum laude with 9 distinctions. Paul Churchill passed with 5 distinctions. Mojaji Matadi. The persons whose names were not read but appeared in the program received their qualification in absentia. Thank you. CAO, I request you to confer the Bachelor of Policing Practices on the following students. The degrees and NQF level 7 qualification with 360 credits and 15 modules. Morongwe Motapo. Matlakala Motsepe. Akopano Mochepe. Reshokechwe Bachlele. Livuwane Mpahu. Raisibe Mpahu. Cabelo Piwa. Rejoice Mudal. Netsa Mudal. Wilma Mudal. Patuane Mulauchi. Laku Mugalane. Patuwani Mutala. Azakazi Mwambu Tapuko was awarded with 10 distinctions. Jacques Nagel. Christopher Naidu. Mantia Chabalala. Redani Nedidi. Charles Neffen. Kumeza Krebecha. Christina Ntongo. Pindan Gobeni. Mapelecho Ngono. Vangile Nguenya. Tobekile Nkosi. Mareme Ntobe. Yuza Ntombela. The persons whose names were not read but appeared in the program received their qualification absentia. I thank you. CIO, we have an outlier here. I request you to confer the Bachelor of Commerce in Law on the following student. The degrees and NQF level 7 qualification were 410 credits and 20 modules. Bongiwe Kumalo.
Thank you. Can we please give our graduates another round of applause, please? I will now like to call upon Professor Patrick Bean to deliver the congratulatory address.
I think you're only glad because I'm the last one of the program. Good evening, everyone. Professor Singh, Middle Finnish Pilot, my colleagues, graduates, family, and friends. It's really a privilege for me to be in tonight to make this congratulatory address on behalf of Stadio Management and staff. Now, as you can see, a lot of effort went into arranging this graduation. Lovely venue set up, and of course, the lovely shoes, clothes, dresses, hair, jewelry that we saw tonight. So a lot of effort, which basically means that this is something we appreciate and that we value, and that's why we make an effort of this. Now, we often ask the question, so what are graduations for? And if I think back to the 2 years of COVID, how we felt during those 2 years when our students could not participate in a physical graduation, our staff felt sad, administrative staff, the academics felt there was something amiss. And it's really wonderful for us to be able to have this event again. So as this landmark event, I think you'll agree with me that it's a joyous event, but it's also a serious event. This is the opportunity, like Professor Singh said, this is the opportunity where we officially, in public, acknowledge your work. So this is the first time. Maybe you got your results by email and you were at home and you ran to the kitchen where there was maybe one or two family members. That was basically it. But this is in public where we experience again tonight how happy you are, family members. So I would like to ask you now as alumni to help us with this important event and the receiving of the actual certificate tonight. We often get a little bit of bad press from about December, January, February, March, where students say, but I passed all my modules. I've paid all my money. I want my certificate. I'll give it to you. Give it to you at this event. So that's what it's for. We cannot give it to you before this. This is the official public event on the Stadio calendar. This is also an opportunity for you to acknowledge and celebrate that you as an individual embrace the opportunity to learn and to grow. You celebrate tonight your own ability to sit down and get the job done. Your resilience is really what we're celebrating tonight, and we're doing it in public. It's also an opportunity for your friends and family to be thoroughly and publicly proud of, like we see the people enjoy. We hear the cries of joy. We see the smiles on their faces. All the way from here, we can see. It's an opportunity for you to acknowledge the support and guidance you've received from your family, friends, your lecturers, the administrative staff. And trust me, there are many lecturers that are also glad that they see you pass over the stage, because they may have said, I don't think we're going to see that one across the stage. And, exactly. But this is an event that actually marks a bit of a rite of passage that you've gone through. You've moved from one stage of your life, stage where you're a student, where you maybe were frustrated with difficult registration processes, difficult re-registration processes, and maybe you were worried about your fees, maybe you were chasing deadlines, working, being a parent, all those pressures that you had, and you still had to comply with all of that. Sending emails when you're frustrated and you want an answer, and then you write this email and you write everybody's name in the 2 column that you know at Stadio, because one of them must solve this problem. Right? But then the one that I think most probably frustrated you the most was when those Turnitin scores came out for your assignments, and you had to battle to deal with that. You also had those prescribed readings to do, and you got your online test results. Some were good, some were not so good. The challenges that you experienced when you had to think, because you're not school, now you have to think, do these assignments, answer these questions during the assessments. So you've moved from that whole space. You've now moved to being a qualified professional. As you've done, you've studied further. So with this qualification, you apply for a job, earn some better income, recognized as a professional, you get registration with professional bodies, you become a proud alumni. And when I was sitting there, colleagues, I was hoping that I had photographic memory, especially when those police candidates came past. And I thought, if one day, Major General, don't listen now, when I'm in trouble, I'll say, but aren't you a Stadio graduate? Maybe. But this is also an incredibly important event for Stadio. It's time for our lecturers and our administrative staff also spend long days, long nights, marking your assignments, working on the administration of our programs, dealing with student complaints, setting up all those Zoom and Teams meetings and broadcasts, getting involved in debates with students about the work. But that's what we're here for. That's what we do. And that was make us so proud. We know that the statistics show that only 6% of the South African population obtain a degree or a diploma. But something that's not often said is that only 50% of people who start studying at a higher education institution like Stadio one of the public universities. Only 50% of them conclude and finish their first qualification. So that is something to keep in mind. You're really in a privileged sector. Keep also in mind that we've got distance learning students and we've got contact learning students. And they have very similar academic challenges, but they have very different experiences. Some of the distance learning students, as I said, parents have a full-time job and they need to ring fence the space and this time for them to be studied. Maybe a contact learning students fresh out of school need to adapt and fit into higher education. Distance learning students maybe was a very lonely path for you. You had to do most of this on your own, whereas contact learning students at least have the peers that they have on campus that they can do. One thing that you've demonstrated with obtaining is a critical stadio graduate action. That is grit and resilience. In South Africa, things are most probably going to get a little bit harder going forward in the next couple of years before they get better. And I can clearly see that people who have managed to pass this challenge in life to obtain higher education qualification, you've just got that little bit of advantage to see us through that time. You can make a difference from now on also in the lives of people you work with, to be a role model in your community, to inspire others to work hard and to study further, and most importantly, to be a citizen contributing to the future. So I would like to congratulate you on this achievement today. Take pride in your achievement. Consider carefully, however, your next goals that you're going to write down on the to-do list. Consider what you believe is right for you and how you will continue on a path of learning and reflection. Finally, I would like you to join me in thanking everyone involved in organizing this ceremony, lots of them walking around, working outside of the tables that you've seen, and they ensure that this is a day that you.
Thank you very much, Prophet. We are now approaching the end of our program, but before then, I would like to take this opportunity for us to just for one more time clap our hands for our graduates. You're looking amazing. But over and above that, I want to thank the cheerleaders at the back. Thank you for making this a vibrant celebration. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the singing of the national anthem. And then please remain standing to enable the CAO to dissolve the congregation and the academic procession to leave the hall. Please rise for the singing of the national anthem.
By virtue of the powers entrusted to me, I now dissolve this congregation of Stadium.
As stupid as I am, I left my. Yes, mine. So I'm not the only one.
Yeah.